Welcome to India News. When it comes to social service, Mohan Nannapaneni is one name which tops a lot of social service individuals and agents we have seen in Massachusetts. On November 15th, he will be honored with a Social Service Individual Award at Newland Choice Awards Gala at Burlington Marriott Hotel. He is our guest today, and we are going to talk to him how he got inspired by social service, his journey, and what are charitable activities he and his organization, Team 8, is doing. Mohan, welcome to our studio.
Namaste, Shaji.
Sure. And it's a truly an honor to meet you in front of our in our studio and share your story with our audience. When we saw your nominations, we were really blown away by the number of nominations we received and the type of work which you do. Personally, I was not familiar with so much depth you do. So before we come to today and talk about Team 8, I want to go back to 22 years ago when, with $1 million of your own money, you started to change the schooling system in India. So let's start how that happened and what has been the impact of that today.
Sure. Namaste, Shaji. Likewise, thank you for having me here today. It's a great opportunity to be with you and with the New England Choice of Awards to meet. Let me go back. I've been in the New England area all my life in the US. It's been almost like 33 years it's been in England. And luckily, my company, Sigma Systems, took an early success. We are ranked as the 24th fastest growing company in 2000 by Inc. 500 magazine. So with that success, I just...
But the Inc. magazine does it.
Inc. magazine does, yeah.
And which year was that?
It's 2000.
2000.
We ranked as the 24th fastest growing private company by the Inc. magazine, and also the 8th in the New England. With that success, actually led me, gave me an opportunity to serve the community back home. I thought, I owe something to back in India, where I grew up and got my education. So I went back and the school, I grew up in Bhadrachalam, a rural area, completely undeveloped and underserved. And I saw my school completely run down, which gave me a great foundation to succeed. Then with the help of Andhra Pradesh government, we completely knocked down that entire school. Back then, I spent only about close to $300,000, which is now maybe equal to multiple millions. Mm-hmm. And we rebuilt the whole school within 6 months with the help of Andhra Pradesh government back then. And then ever since I maintained that school, they named after me, it's the Nannapaneni Mohan Jilla Parishad School, and catering around 1,600 students. And we built another school in 2008 with almost another close to $100,000. An elementary school, I built another small school as well, and I maintained that school since then. It's educating thousands of students, and now they're spread all over the world.
So, how many schools you are supporting there right now?
In Bhadrachalam, 3 schools.
3 schools. And what has been its impact? Tell us about some of the students who have graduated.
It's a great impact. If you look at the schools back then, they were now basically in huts, completely run down, knocked down, and the students were exposed to all 5 elements, heat, dust, and sunlight, and so on, sitting on the floor. And in that conducive environment, they cannot learn, they cannot focus. So when we knocked down and completely furnished the school, with ceiling fans and upscale, is like corporate school. If you look at one of the best government schools in Telangana outside Hyderabad, mm-hmm. And they were sitting on a nice benches and under the fan, and the environment completely changed so they can focus on the education. And the school has been serving as one of the best.
So, are you in touch with some of the students who have graduated? Tell us about who they are, where they are now, like those who.
I randomly get, people, the students, on Facebook and LinkedIn and so on. They say, "Sir, I'm a student of your school, came from here. Surprisingly, there are students even in Westboro.
Okay.
So,
and so any data you have about how many became doctors or engineers or
that part I don't from that school. School doesn't make the data, but on the other personal front, I funded both me and my wife. We funded at least 75 students to their complete higher education. I'm not talking just giving a small donation here and there. Completely funded, and there are about 15 doctors who did. Every one of them did masters, and other 60 are engineers, and a lot of them in IITs and other engineering colleges. And every year we take about 6 to 7 students, and we fund their education.
Okay. So now, before you return to your social service, what happened to your company?
My company is still running.
Yes,
I mean, I took a little bit back stands. I'm not too greedy, and almost like since 2007. I pretty much involved heavily into the community service, and how much is enough? I mean, I have enough. I made a decent life, and my children grown up, and they got good education. They're on their own, so I'm not really going after money. But actually, the community service gives me much more satisfaction.
And you mentioned your wife. So, what is her role in your social service as well as the?
She's a very strong supporter. By profession, she's an attorney, immigration attorney, but she's a great entrepreneur as well. And she not only supports me, and she also started recently another company called Shimily, and we teach life skills to the students. Now we have students all over the world.
So, it seems that Team Aid is the offshoot of your dedication to social services. So now let us come back to Team Aid. And I am told that since 2017, Team Aid has transported back to India about 3,000 bodies of Indian Americans who there was no other way them to get back to India. So let's start. How did you come with the Team Aid idea and how things have evolved there?
That's a long story. 3 days prior to the World Trade Center event in 2001, September 11th, 2 of our employees got injured, and one in Denver, one in a fire accident in Albany. And I started helping them. And, ever since, I saw a desperate need when people, especially living in abroad where they don't have family support, when they go through this distress moment, and somebody has to help them. Then I was helping at the personal level, and in 2007, I involved into Telugu Association of North America called TANA. And TANA, before my involvement, it was only a pure cultural organization. And then I turned that organization into a service organization by creating a small group in TANA, helping people in these kind of situations. And I served there about 10 years. And then in 2017, when my term ended as a president and the board of directors at TANA, I said, okay, why don't I expand this beyond Telugu people? And with like-minded people, and a lot of them are in Massachusetts, and we started this Team Aid. Basically, it's first aid for our immigrant community. We left our families back home and came here when something happens and there is no help support. Then what happens? It's a lot of distress. And both families back home and also here, they get worried. So we started Team Aid as exclusively supporting people either traveling or living abroad and face these kind of catastrophic incidents, accidents, suicide, homicides. And then we started helping people. And then we partnered with over 100 other organizations and big organizations like World Malayali Federation, Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, Uttar Pradesh, and so on, and IAGP and TAGB local organizations as well. And those organizations continue their community service or maybe their literary or language or their cultural services. And when it comes to catastrophic incidents, we partner and we take care of them. And sending dead bodies just is one part of what we do, and a lot of things which the community does not understand what we did, they find. For example, prior to Team Aid involvement or my service, when we are sending a dead body back to India, there's a lot of process. We need about 5-6 documents, death certificate, non-communicable disease certificate, and embalmer's affidavit, and then transit burial permit, and so on. Procuring those documents itself takes about 5 to 6 days. On the top, back then, we used to send those documents to called airport health organization in India. And they were working only Monday to Friday. They were taking like anywhere 2 to 7 days to give an approval so that the airlines can book a flight. I thought that's wrong. Now we have all these documents. The embassy is giving an NOC, and afterwards, why there is a bureaucracy? So I work with the Indian government with the help of the ambassador's office here and the Minister of Health back in India and Minister of External Affairs. It took 12 years. And luckily, last year, with the help of my good friend Love Agarwal, who's the Secretary of Ministry of Health, and Mr. Shinglaji and Mr. Randir Jaiswal and Mr. Sandeep Chakravarti ji, these are the people who helped us. And we created
Chakravarti was Consul General.
Former Consulate General. Now he's an ambassador in Malaysia. And then we created a portal. And now what we do, after getting the NOC from the embassy, we just upload to the portal. Within 10-15 minutes, we get the approval. We can go to any airlines and book the flight. So that only people who got affected will know the difference.
So now, to just give us some sort of a perspective to our audience, today is October 12th, 2024. At this given time when we are sitting in this studio, what team is doing right now?
The first thing is the emergency help. People traveling or living abroad and face these kind of dire situations. And we have 3,000 plus volunteers in US alone. And we have another 20 other countries as well. And we console the family. When there's a death happens, we console the family. And we create a kind of a bridge between those who are affected back home and the here. And we help whatever is.
So let me reframe my question. So I'm going to reframe my question.
Sure.
So at this time, for example, how many at this particular moment, how many cases are being handled by Team 8 today at this time?
Right now, we have 6 cases going on. Right now, 6.
Across the US?
Across the US, anywhere from Seattle to North Carolina, from New Jersey to Boston, we have 6 cases going on. On average, we do at least 2 to 3 a day.
So now, without giving any specific names or anything, can you describe some of these cases?
Yeah, sure. In North Carolina, there is a 7-month-old baby died, and there's one of the twins, and the mother completely shattered. They don't know what to do. They don't have any money to bury the baby, so we help the family, creating a helping them with a local burial. And there is a visiting parent died in. Actually, there's a visiting parent killed in an accident, and 3 others severely injured in Seattle. And we're doing a local funeral. And there is a visiting parent died in Austin, Texas. We're sending them to India. And there is a young lady is on a deathbed with a cancer in Sharon, Massachusetts. And we're helping that family. Unfortunately, she may die any moment. And then we're going to help. And there is a 52-year-old software engineer found dead in his apartment in Philadelphia. And we're sending his body back to Delhi. So we deal with deaths is one part, and also we deal with a lot of mental health issues, and we deal with a lot of other immigration, non-immigration issues as well.
Now, what a great job! Really, thank you so much for doing all this, and we're really honored to honor you for the social service and your teammate as well. Now, we want to know who is Mohan.
Mohan actually is, I would say, just an individual, who like to be very simple and try to be modest and humble and do something meaningful for his life. But the community behind me is astronomical, and the dedicated volunteers, 3,000 dedicated volunteers, they are at a phone call. They always help me. And they put me on the pedestal, but the work behind is priceless.
Let's talk about your growing up. Where did you grow up, and how was the environment? And where did you? I want to get back. Where did you learn all this community service? Where does it come from?
Probably the society I grew up. As I said, I grew up in Bhadrachalam. It's a small temple town, about 50,000 people, and a lower middle class family. But the great foundation I was given by the teachers. That's why I have a lot more respect for my schools and the teachers back home, where we get education at dead cheap, and also with a lot more discipline and good values.
Do you recall any incident with a teacher you had and they said, oh my God, this teacher really is making sense?
Yeah, definitely. I still remember every one of those.
Give us one example.
I give you one example. This one teacher, his name is Chenna Master. We call small. His name is Mr. Raju. And when we built the school, and Mr. CM Chandrababu Naidu came and inaugurated the school, everybody taking pictures, and everybody is gone. And afterwards, we were taking pictures with a bunch of about 50 students behind. And this teacher comes next to me, and he wanted my arm on his shoulder. I said, "Sir, this should be other way." Then he said, "No, it should be other way, because that's way how I feel proud." So those are the moments, and I really feel like an emotional.
Your parents?
My father died about 2 years ago. My mother lives back in India.
And siblings?
I have 2 siblings, 2 sisters.
And they are in India?
They are also in India.
They are also in
I have no relatives here. My blood relatives are siblings,
okay,
other than my wife's family.
Okay. So now let's talk about TANA. This is the Telugu Association. You were president of this organization for a long time. So what is this organization and how you got involved with that, and what the organization does?
Telugu Association of North America is one of the largest and the oldest ethnic organization for Telugu people in North America. And in 2007, I took the role as a treasurer. Then I became secretary. Then every 2 years it changes role. I was a treasurer, secretary, executive vice president, president, and also board of directors. I served about 10 years. And I turned that organization in completely different direction, serving not only for the cultural need, but also for the service needs for the Telugu people.
So you took a very bold step after success of your business and all, and to really devote your service to the community. Many of us, who doing quite well, but at the same time we get conflicted. Should I leave my job? Should I? What will happen to my business? Should I do that? We have that itching to help the community, but some of us are not able to make that type of dedication and devotion. What you will advise to them?
It's a great sacrifice. I would say I got affected a lot. Both personally, because it takes a toll. It depends on the service you do, and also on your business as well. But if you balance it well, or if you have somebody supporting, luckily I have my wife supporting me. And if you have an equal partner supports your business, definitely a little bit spending your time is definitely worthwhile. And you cannot quantify. Say, in a peak time, and I was making maybe $1,000 an hour if I spend my time in business. But when I spend those hours into community service, you lost every dollar, and you lost your business too. But it gives you an immense satisfaction, a meaning of your life. And for people, how much is enough? You can earn under 100 million or 200 million. That's not going to make any huge difference in your life. But the time you spend for the community and gives you a lot more satisfaction for yourself and also to the community as well. And you can inspire a lot of people. So
now as we are talking, you keep mentioning your wife. So I have to talk a little bit about her. So who is she? How did you meet her?
She's basically my friend's sister. We got married and came here, and she was already working here. She did her master's from Fordham University in LLM, and she was practicing as an immigration attorney. And we both started like any other immigrants. We brought nothing from India. We did our education. I went to BU for my master's, which I never completed anyway. But we both
drop out in America is a good thing. Right?
Actually, that's a good thing for many reasons.
Sure.
And I never needed to show my degree to anyone because I cannot work for anyone as an entrepreneur. And we built multiple companies, Sigma Systems, CN Technologies, and Sigma Services, and now Shimily. And,
So was it a love marriage or how it was arranged marriage?
It's a kind of both.
It's a both.
Kind of both. They introduced us and we spoke at least 6 months prior to we got married.
So you didn't know her before the conversation about marriage really started?
No.
Okay. So what is the secret? You guys seem like you and your wife get along very well in all the things you do. So what is that secret message of a good marriage?
The freedom. You need to have trust in each other. And when your spouse gives you a lot of freedom and trust, that opens your world.
This is a wonderful thing you have said. I remember when I was, studying, doing my master's in JNU
Delhi.
in Delhi. At that time, there used to be a magazine called Youth Times, and the entire issue on that Youth Times was on love. So the editors have invited all these writers and poets to write about love, and they had one quote there from, I think it was from Rabindranath Tagore or somebody, that what is love, and it was like love is freedom.
Freedom, exactly.
And at that age, it made no sense to me. I thought love is possession, love is ownership. And now I say, my God, how important it is to give the freedom to each other in a love and a romantic
I'm
relationship.
glad you mentioned Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali is one of my favorite books as well.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, I mean that's what a wonderful. What about what you do in your spare time when you are not working or not helping?
I have a lot of hobbies. Reading is not my hobby anymore. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time, but I do photography. It's now my core passion, and I play tennis and community service, socializing. That pretty much takes a lot of my time.
And what about your children?
I have two good children, and my daughter, she graduated from Emory and then a master's from Columbia, and she works for a private equity firm in Boston. She got married to a doctor last year, and they live in New York right now. And my son graduated from George Washington University and worked for a private equity firm a couple of years, and he started his own hedge fund in cryptos and NFTs, and he's doing well. He lives in New York.
Now, your last word on community and social service. What will you say?
It's part of my life right now. And the community, you should not think that you're doing great something for others. It's basically, when you treat your community as a family, then, you don't have that feeling. And they pretty much own you as well. And if you think, yeah, I'm doing something for this community, you brag about it, community doesn't care at all. But when you become part of their integral part of them, the community, and do whatever is necessary, be part of what they're doing, and it's a great integration. And the local community, it's great, especially Boston. I traveled, in Tana, I traveled all over the country, but we have a unique community in Boston, and we have it's a diverse community. We never fight. Unlike in other places I saw, within our community, we fight a lot. But in Boston, I see same people, you go wherever. You go to IAGB, you go to ISW, you go to TAGB, you go to other Tamil Sangam organizations or anything, you see the same people everywhere. And, that is the community. And we left our families back home, and we made a lot of friends. They are our family. It's rather, I would say, community that's our extended family.
Mohan, thank you so much for your
My
time.
pleasure. Thank you.
And we are looking forward to honoring you on November 15th.
Thank you so much. And I take this honor actually for my volunteers and the community that supported me, and my family has been supporting me for many years. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to attend the event. Thank you.